Hi, let's do a makeup tutorial together. My name is Aisata and I'm 60 years old. Today is Sunday. Let's do a nice Sunday look together. If you've been following me on my page, you'll notice that when I said let's do a Sunday look together, I'm not even quite sure what that's going to look like. I'm basically saying let's just do a makeup tutorial. Let's do a great look together. First, I've already cleansed my face, so my face is already clean. So I'm just going to apply my moisturizer. I'm using this moisturizer by Clinique. I'll put all the products that I'm using down in the video. So if you would like to purchase them, you're happy to do so. If you're new to my page, welcome. If you've been following me, thank you. If you've been following me, thank you for the follow. And this is a brand new page. I've only had this page for about a month, I think. So I have a few videos on there. Let's grow together. So as you moisturize your face, make sure you also moisturize your neck. You should always put something in your neck, in your décolleté area here, all the way down here, and a little something over your ears, even over your earlobe. Because all these parts, they do need hydration and anti-aging care. So the last time I did a video, I talked about a patient who was dying and how makeup was our pretty much connecting point to connect together, because this was a very trying time for her. And this is how, as a nurse, we connected. But this didn't only happen once, and it certainly didn't happen just in my nursing career, whether I was in hospitals or homes. This happened throughout my life, meaning makeup connected me with people. People would say to me, you have such beautiful skin. Your skin is radiant. Your skin is beautiful. Stuff like that. Oh, I love your lipstick. I love your lip color. Why is that? Well, one is because your face is the first thing people notice about you. That's the first thing. Obviously, first it's, there's something else that comes before your face, but the face is what physically the person identify with. This is what the person looks at when somebody is saying hello to you. This is really what they should be looking at. They should be looking in your eyes. They should be looking in your face. So your face is prominent in terms of connecting you with others, is what I'm saying. And of course, people become anxious a little bit. People don't know what to say sometimes when they meet you. So they're gonna identify at first with something that's obvious in you, whether it's the clothing that you wear or something else. But since they're looking right at your face, usually they will spot something about you and just, make a compliment or say something about that. So I think I made it a routine. I made it a habit of always, by taking care of my skin, then it was always the thing that people would comment about first. That is what people would compliment me on. So I use the Clinique Moisture Surge, which is a good moisturizer. And then I just put on my primer, which is the Jane Iredale Smooth Affair Brightening Primer. You put on a primer so this helps to blurs your pores and fine lines. And this also helps to prep your skin for your makeup. And this extends the length of your makeup wear. So this makes your makeup last longer and looks fresher for longer. That's why you wear a primer. A primer helps with that. But sometimes with different kinds of primer, this is a brightening primer, but there's different types of primer. There's hydrating primer and other types, depending on what you're going for. So one thing I like to do to get rid of is my eyes, because that's the part that I have a problem with doing, because, you can't see as well. Your precision is not as great as you get older. So I like to get the eyes out the way. So I'm going to line the inner of my eye. And this could get a little tricky, literally, for me. Not when I was younger, that wasn't, but now it is. It's a little tricky. It feels like I'm poking myself. And my waterline down here, we want to do the inner part of your bottom lid. Just the inner part. This gets rid of the pinkish part, and this helps to open up your eyes a little more. And it's basically you're doing the same with the top lid. Right, you're lining the inner of the eye. Same thing on the bottom here. So as I was saying, it's not just makeup, it's also your skincare. Obviously, if someone is commenting on your skin, it's because you've done great skincare. And also, really, skincare is the foundation for great makeup looks. If your skin is well moisturized, obviously your makeup is going to look better, right? So, see, I just spoke myself. Gotta take that out the video, right? Another reason I still do my makeup, obviously, at 60, one is because I've been doing it all this time, but also because wearing makeup also helps to protect your skin. It protects your skin because it protects your skin from the elements, right? If you have foundation on and you have a great foundation and that's providing the moisture, and everything, then your skin is nicely protected under the makeup, while the harsh elements are you protected from that. So that's another reason why I always wore makeup. And even though this is my concealer, I'm putting on my concealer. This concealer actually, let me spray my brush. I need a little bit of moisture with this concealer. This is the Clé de Peau concealer in the color of Nutmeg. This is a great concealer. You only need a little bit, but it does the job of covering my dark circles. Why do we wear concealers? To cover the dark circles under your eye. Just kind of even, and also brightens under the eye. So, like I was saying, when you wear makeup, you protect your skin. And if you're doing that starting at 20 years old, you can see how at 60 years old, like I am, your skin will be nicely protected from these elements, whether we're talking about the harsh winter where I live in the Northeast area. The winters can be pretty harsh. So I've always thought I use my makeup for that purpose. And this is why when I would go to makeup counters to buy my makeup, they would say, "Oh, you don't really need the makeup. You don't need all that. You have such great skin." But I always felt like I need to also make sure I protect my skin. Because if you have something that's valuable, you protect it, right? That was my take on it. Okay. But see how the concealer covers my dark circles and kind of brighten under my eye at the same time. This is what the concealer does. This is why it's important to wear concealer. You don't have to wear concealer every day. It depends on, of course, if you go into work, you may not have time to wear concealer, but it's always a good idea to wear a concealer. Right after your concealer, I'm going to set that. It's important to set that right away with a powder. I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the color of cinnamon. Since my concealer is a bit brighter, it's a bit lighter than my skin, then I use a powder that's a little bit darker than my skin. This helps to brings the color right back. So I just take some powder and I put it in the puff like that, and then I just swirl it in my hand like that so that I'm not putting the powder directly under my eye, so I don't have any cakiness with the powder. You see? And this is it. As you can see, it doesn't look too cakey. I don't put a whole lot, just enough. And again, I just rub it in my hand. It's so important to rub it in your hand because then you kind of distribute it evenly. You look up to make sure you get the whole area. Now this step, the powder and the concealer, you can do it before you blush or you can do it after you blush. It's up to you. There are reasons why you would do it before or after. Okay. So now I'm going to go over my brows a little bit. I did start my brows already, because I just have to start my brow before I do anything else. Otherwise, I don't see very well to do my brows. So I did them a little bit already, but you constantly have to go over your brows as you do your makeup, making sure that, especially if you use like a brow powder or anything like that, you have to keep either reapplying it, or sometimes you just have to reapply it, and sometimes you just have to make sure it's right in the spot where you need it, because sometimes the product may move a little bit, especially if you haven't put on like a brow gel or something, which I didn't. If you use a brow gel, then that's not a problem, but I didn't use a brow gel. So I have to go back and apply. Where you see that the lines are like sparse, there's no hair, you would apply. Okay. 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 So like I was saying, the first thing people see about you is your face, and usually this is what people connect with. This is the first information their brain is picking up from you as a person. So taken care of your face gives you just that advantage of connecting quicker, because people when they look at you, they want to connect with you. So whatever it is that attracts their attention, that's what's going to start their connection with you. So, somebody looks at you and your skin is well hydrated, or you have a beautiful color lip on, or your eyebrows are nice and sharp. Whatever it is about your face, this helps. This helps to make that connection. Now this is the gel that's going to keep things in place. It's also colored, which helps. This is also Jane Iredale brow gel. I tell you, my eyebrows is my biggest problem in terms of now, in terms of, challenges when I'm doing my makeup. My eyebrows are my biggest challenge. My eyebrows and my eyeliner. And because of, decreased vision at 60. Okay, what do you guys think? I think for now this looks good. I'll go back over it, of course, at some point throughout the look. So now what should we do? So I have my eyes, I have my concealer on. I'm going to put on my foundation. I'm going to put on my foundation, and I'm going to use the Jane Iredale Skin Tuition foundation in color Dark 64, I think. it's called, in color Dark 64. Yep. Jane Iredale Skin Tuition in the color of Dark 64. That's what I'm going to use today. It's a beautiful foundation. I like to have, sometimes I do a matte look, but most of the time I like to use a foundation that's nice and radiant. I usually pour my foundation in something like this, or you can use the back of your hand if you don't have something like this, so that this also keeps everything clean. And I'm using the BK Beauty Brush foundation number 101. This is a nice brush with a nice angle for foundation, see? And then it also has nice density to it. So I pick up my foundation like this, and then I place it, and you see the match there. I place some here, and then I'm going to blend. Of course, avoiding where I already put the concealer. I'm avoiding that. So you see how the foundation is now covering the skin. It matches, so this is a nice color. So like I was saying, now my skin is not, and then you go down to your neck as well. I usually like to do the same side at once. So I do this side, and I do the side of the neck over here. So, like I was saying, you have protection here because the foundation has some nice skin ingredients in addition to your skin ingredients that you already put on that's going to protect the skin. You know, like things like niacinamide, and this great technology these days that they have in all these skincare products. All of these things are going to protect your skin. So I do this side of my neck as well. You know how when you're talking and then you going over your neck. So if you want to know what it's going to sound like as you get older, this is the sound. When you putting something over your neck and talking at the same time. As a kid, we used to do that as a game, right? Because we thought we'll never get old. So we would massage our neck and talk at the same time. And then we would try to act like we were an older person. So you see the match on that foundation. What a great match. And you see the luminosity, radiance. So my skin still look very radiant. This is why sometimes I prefer that over a matte look. But there are times when you want to use a matte look. It depends what you're going for, obviously. But I love me a nice radiant foundation that makes my skin look luminous and radiant and beautiful. And this Jane Iredale Skin Tuition does that. You notice I'm pampering. I haven't gone over my forehead yet because you have to take your time when you're doing your makeup. You have to really take your time, enjoy yourself, and actually looking at what you're doing and asking yourself as you're doing it, you know, is this what I want? Is this turning out the way I want it to be? So as you're doing your makeup at the same time, you are assessing. So you have to take your time. You can't be rushing unless you're going to work in the morning, of course. That's why your makeup in the morning going to work is not the same as when you have time to relax. See, on Sundays like this, I do this look so that if I have to go somewhere, I already know what kind of look that I want. So I do my looks according to just, you know, playing around with colors. And then one day you have somewhere to go. You know exactly what you're going to put on. You know what eyeshadow color you're going to put on, what foundation you're going to use. Are you going to do a matte look? Or are you going to go for this luminosity and radiance? So you play on Sundays. If you don't have a place to go like me, I don't have a place to go on Sundays. So what do you guys think of the foundation? This is now just a foundation. And this is just a foundation. My eyebrows done and my concealer. Wow. From here, you can put on your lipstick, you can go out. You can put on your lipstick, little blush, and you're out. But we have time. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of bronzing. I'm not going to use a powder. I have a bronzing stick. I have a bronze stick. I'm going to use, let's see, I think I'm going to use this color instead. Yeah, this color. So this is the color. So why do we bronze? Just to bring back the warmth and the more color in the areas where the light hits the most. Okay. So this has to do with defining your face, your facial structure, right? So you bring back the warmth because certain parts are darker on your skin. So here we go. I'm going to use this brush. And basically you're just going to blend this out. So you put it over here in your forehead here, just in the outer area of your face. The middle you don't touch with the bronzing. You don't touch the middle. Here, you're just going to blend this out. Not too far, just right here. And you keep it right over that, you're going to put your blush. That's why you put it right here. Same thing over here. I remember before we didn't have all these products. When I was growing up, we had more powder than wet products. And you do the same thing here. Well, things should be seamless in the end, but you want your facial structure to tell a different story, right? Okay. So this is the bronze face. This is basically the foundation, concealer, and bronzing powder. So the next thing I'm going to do now, should I do my face? I always tell you I don't like doing should I do my eyes? That's the part that I procrastinate on the most because now that I have a little bit of issue with my vision, I just shy away. I just shy away so much from the eye parts, whether it's the eyeliner or the eyeshadow. I'm going to start with an eyeshadow. First, I'm just going to put like a layer of brown. I'm just going to put brown all over my eye. And then I'll decide. And it's as I'm doing my eye that I'm deciding what colors I'm going to use. But I do know I want to use a red. And I do know I want to use a red lipstick. So first I put like a neutral color all over. This is a neutral color all over the eye. Again, this is just to set things up so that the colors you're going to add to this, the background is going to be uniform. So I'm using Juvia's The Warrior Palettes by Juvia. And I'm using the color, Yadit is the color. Yeah, Yadit. I think it's Yadit or Yodit. These colors are named directly. I think they have to do with either a tribe in Africa or a country or something. But something African. The Warrior Palette by Juvia. So as you can see, this color is pretty much, like I said, like a nude. It's a brown. And this just going to be the background for the other colors that I'm going to put on. But sometimes that could be the only color that you wear. That could be fine. This could be great just by itself, if that's what you want. Nothing wrong with that. Then I'm going to put I'm gonna do a red. Can never find foundation brush. If my daughter sees this video, she's gonna say, you never know what foundation brush to use? I'm actually gonna do more like a burgundy. Let me see. Maybe I'll take another palette too. It's as I go. This is as I go. If I do the red, I can do the red. Yes, I'm gonna do the red, but I have to go to another palette. This is the Saharan by Juvia. This is the Saharan palette. So I can't see these colors. This color is, I can't see the color, but it's a red. I'm gonna put this right over the lid, right here. Right over the lid here. Up until the brow bone, right here. All over the lid. So, why keep doing your makeup as you get older? Again, this keeps you in touch with your femininity, right? I know that may be a little controversial these days, this word. I don't know. I'm old fashioned, so I'm using it. I mean, to your womanhood, right? And again, if you did this all your life, you can see why you wouldn't stop now, because this helps shape you as a woman. This helped define. I think I put a little bit too much on this side. So I'm going to use that brush, and I'm going to use the brush and put more on that side. So yeah, this helps shape who you are, right? Whether it was you as a woman, as a young girl, you were playing with dolls, that helps to conceptualize who you were as a woman. In the same way, applying makeup did the same thing. I'm going to use another brush, clean brush, just to clean this up a little bit. If you put on too much or something, this is how you take it off. So yeah, so as a young girl, I went a little bit too far up too. So as a young girl, you played with dolls, you played in the kitchen. Remember those kitchen sets that you used to get for Christmas? They used to give you these toys, and they would give the boys, they would give them guns, and then they would give the girls their kitchen sets or their sewing kits or their sewing sets, or I had to do something with home. So in the same way that helped to conceptualize who you were, you drew from that. So, and that's your strength. That's your strength. This is where you draw. Also, it's almost like this is where you draw the line in the sand of this is who I am, So it's in the same way as you get older, you still have to keep those parts of yourself, right? Because you're just getting older. You're not disappearing. You are still here, and you still make a difference. And you still want, when someone meets you and they shake your hand and they look in your eyes, they can still see all these, features about you to compliment you on. So I think I like the red. Now I'm going to put a little bit. I think I used the wrong brush in the beginning. That's what it was. And that's why it came that's why I made the mistake. Basically, that's what my daughter would say. See, you used the wrong brush. She always say that. You use the wrong brush. That's what she's going to say when she sees this video. She doesn't understand what I have to go through to read these colors that I can't see anymore. I'm going to put a touch of black over here. Just in the corner here. Right, just like that. I'm still using the Saharan palette from Juvia. There's a nice black in there. And lightly, I'm going to just shade it like that. Okay. A little bit more on this side. Okay. Yep, this color is Chad. Chad is the color in this Saharan Juvia's palette. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take a smaller brush, like this brush. This is another BK Beauty brush in the number 2. I gotta get my thing to see this color, 210. And this is a very small brush by BK Beauty in the number 210. This is an eyeshadow brush. It could be used as an eyeliner as well. And I'm going to take that same red that I have on top, and I'm going to put some of that on the bottom lid. Just to marry the colors. This is called marrying the colors. Again, this is what's going to give all that definition, right? And this kind of helps you to look awake as well, to brighten the look. Here you go. Here you go. And I'm going to use, and makeup, and doing your makeup is something that gets better with time, right? So the more you do it, the more you get better at it. So this is why you shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes. And, you shouldn't be afraid to just try things. You shouldn't be afraid to just try different colors and then, and see how you like them and see how you like a certain look. Now I'm going to do a liquid eyeliner just on my lash area, very tight lash area. This is where it's supposed to go, but sometimes I end up in other places because I can't see. Well, you don't need to see for that, but it's when you can't see, then you kind of lose the dexterity. Well, not dexterity. You lose the ability or the confidence. You lose the confidence, not the ability. You lose the confidence that you had and basically just doing things with your eyes closed. And you're like, well, shouldn't it be better if you can't see? Well, no, because when you looking at when your regular vision is decreased and you can't see certain things, you lose confidence in what you can see. I remember when I was younger, I could see so far away and I was so proud of that. I would say, oh, look how far I can see this thing all the way down. So that's your confidence. That's your confidence level. It boosts your confidence level. Similarly, when you can't see, I hope it didn't end up in places I didn't want it, but sometimes it does. You guys will tell me in the video. I don't know right now. Let me see. Oh, I think it's just perfect. Okay. So by now I'm going to touch up again. I'm going to touch up on my foundation, making sure everything looks good. And I'm not going to go over where I did the bronzing, of course. So, my eyes, I just have to do now I have to do my mascara. Another part I don't like to do. I would really do the false eyelashes if I could, but I can't put those on either because I can't see well enough to put them. Only when I get my makeup done by someone else, then I wear those false eyelashes. But for the most part, I just use my mascara. But it's so easy now. These girls, I see them with the false eyelashes, look so great, look so beautiful, and no time, you know? You don't have to do this they still put on mascara, but it's a lot less work considering what we have to do if you don't put them on. So you have to do first the top lashes and you have to do the bottom lashes too. So you do the bottom lashes, you just touch up on it very lightly. I gotta clean it up. I gotta clean it up. Should always have your Q-tips ready. So in case you make a mistake. And voila. And voila. So I did my mascara. I did my eyeshadow. I'm just gonna go over a little bit with the bottom red one more time. Sometimes again, it's just like the eyebrows after you do your bottom lash. You just want to make sure you still have that. All right. So now we're going to do my blush. And I don't know what color blush. Well, I kind of know. My blush. Just gonna do something a little bit of burgundy. Very light. Yeah, I don't want too much of that blush. Very light. With your blush, you don't go too far down. You stop right here, right where I stop. Because the further down you go, the more you're going to accentuate your facial features. So you want to stay right on top. If you want to have like the lift, you want to lift your face. And with aging, since you know everything can start sagging, so you're trying to go for a look where everything looks lifted. So you keep it right in this area here like this. So now that I've done with my blush, I'm just going to go over again under my eye with the concealer. I'm going to go over the powder, but this time I'm going to go over with a brush. I'm just going to just gently, just to marry the blush with the powder under your eye. So it's seamless. Go over it with this on your hand and just touch lightly. Okay. Just so you have that under eye looking snatch. Now I'm going to take a big puff. This is another BK Beauty brush again. I'm using all BK Beauty brushes today. This is number 102. This is BK Beauty brush 102. This is a powder brush. This, you can use that for loose powder, all over your face powder. I'm just going to put a little bit of powder all over my face just to marry all the colors now. Just to marry everything. This is a beautiful brush. This makes you feel so good. This BK Beauty brush number 102. Remember, the 101 was the foundation brush, and the number 102 is the powder brush. But it feels so good. So now that we've done that, now we have to do our lip. And I'm going to line my lip with a brown lip liner. Quickly, not too harsh. It's a very simple, because I'm going to wear red lipstick. I'm going to wear red lipstick is my favorite color, obviously. So why do we line our lip? When you line your lip, first it helps define your lip better. It helps define your lip, and it keeps the lip color in place. It keeps the lipstick in place. Here's my lip line, ready for my lipstick. So far you saw the look. So the foundation, you saw how I apply the foundation. You saw how I apply my eyeshadow colors. I only have really two colors, just the red and the black. And then my mascara, my eyeliner, and I put a little bit of the eyeshadow on the bottom color, on the bottom on the bottom lash, under the bottom lash. And I put a red blush from Juvia's Place as well. Okay, and then and here's my lipstick. Okay. I put a little bit of lip gloss on top of that. And I just thought of something. So this is it. But I just thought of putting some foils on my eyes. This is the Nessa Myricks eye colors. These are easy to put right on your eyes. These are foils and metallics. So I'm just going to put a little bit here, even though I should have done this before. But because this is such an easy application, you see, I can still do it and it doesn't mess up anything. It doesn't mess up my mascara. because it's so small, so it has precision where you can just apply it directly. There we go. Look at that shimmer. Look how nice that looks. I can't tell you what color this is because I can't see, but this is the metallic side. Comes together. This is the metallic side. Let me see if I could use a magnifier to see the color. Will I see the color? No, this is it. Vanessa Myricks Color 6. This is it. So this is it. My makeup is now done. So then I just take a look and see is anything missing. I love my lip. And my teeth doesn't have any lipstick on it. Something you have to look for. So now I'm going to use Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray to set my makeup. Do it first. And you let that dry. I'm going to let that dry and I'll come back. So voila. So this is the final look. I'm very happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. What, tell me what colors you like or you didn't like. As you can see, this didn't take many products and I use your everyday makeup, something that you will have at home. I'm sure you have a red lipstick at home. Everyone who has a blush palette has some red in it. You could use that in your eyes like I did and also in your cheeks. So I used this was the Warrior palette by Juvia's. And then the Saharan palette, which I used the black, which was Chad for my eye color, the black here, and also a little bit of the red. And that was it. So this was easy Sunday makeup, laid back. And that's it. My name is Aisata and I'm 60 years old. Thank you for being with me today to go over this makeup tutorial. I look forward to see you again next time. Thanks for coming on my page. Follow me and share my videos so I can grow this community. Thank you again for coming and happy Sunday. Thank you again for coming and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.